Organize, stand up, and speak out with a unified voice to protect our freedom to read.
That's just part of the message in a new documentary called Band Together. It was filmed in part right here in Beaufort County, detailing local students' battles in and out of schools to fight book banning. 97 books in all were pulled from Beaufort County school shelves. In the end, though, only 5 were taken out of those libraries. With me today, Millie Bennett, one of the students profiled and stars of the film. Tom Wiggin, also the director and producer of the documentary. Tom, we'll start with you. There was a battle. What kind of battle was it like to decide, go ahead, and I want to do this, and this is what we need to put out there?
Well, my wife and I, who's the lead producer, Jennifer, were at home, and we saw a headline, and Millie was in the picture, above the fold headline that said, "Teens push back against book bans in Beaufort." And we both looked at each other and said, this is a film we have to do. And we found out that somebody had already started filming down in Beaufort who had the same idea, Kate Way, our other director. And we called her and said, do you want to collaborate with us? Because we think this is a big film. She was going to do a short. And she said, sure. And so we got our other producer, Allison Rice, on board, and we became a small but mighty team and went after it.
That's great. Millie, for you, you know, a lot of students don't want to step up and be the focus of any attention, much less be a documentary. What was that like to you? It was very personal to you, this whole idea of book banning, wasn't it?
Yes, I think part of it is just like, I'm an LGBTQ, part of the LGBTQ community, and a lot of the books taken off of our shelves featured LGBTQ plus characters or authors, and it was just so important for me to be able to stand up for myself, but also others in my community who maybe didn't have the know-how how to stand up for themselves or the ability or the want. So it was just really important in that way.
This takes place over a pretty good period of time too, Tom, as well, doesn't it?
Yeah, I mean, their story started in late 2022 and then went all through 2023. And we tried to bring it, one of the reasons we didn't finish the film until recently was because we wanted to track the story as late into 2024 as possible. So yeah, it really goes through late June of 2024. So we tracked it for quite a while.
And for you, Millie, were you friends with these girls to begin with? It's you and 2 others that are sort of the focus of this side of the film on this, correct?
Yes.
So were you friends before, or did you sort of just become friends through this?
Me and Lizzie had already known each other for a while. We went to the same church in Beaufort growing up, but we hadn't talked in a while. And then me and Lizzie had never met Izzy before. She went to a completely different school. And so we kind of like met Izzy and really all became a close group of friends through this documentary that we hadn't been before.
Which is kind of neat to have this unified set kind of thing there too for it. Tom, obviously, you know, as we continue on, not to get too political with it, but obviously the rules have already changed, that the state is now stepping in when it comes to this book banning situation for both of you. I guess sort of your feelings about that.
Well, it just proves that this issue is not going to die. The fight continues. But what's really hopeful, as far as I'm concerned, and what I think people are going to take away from this film, is that we have a new generation of leadership stepping up. And they are going to continue to make their voices heard. They're going to keep pushing back on this. But yeah, there are major political forces who are behind these book bans, and they have a very specific agenda, and they're going to have to be dealt with on an ongoing basis.
And for you, Millie, I know you believe students really can make a difference. You stepped up yourself. Are you pushing that forward for high school, college, and beyond?
I think I'm trying to work more in college now, since I am in college, trying to work with students to get them to go out and vote and know what's happening in their local elections, as well as like what's at home rather than just the college we all attend. So yeah, and also trying to help with the high schoolers who are still in DALO, trying to help them where I can as they continue to speak out at high schools.
Well, part of why we have this here is you guys have a screening this weekend in Beaufort, and then you also have one in Charleston. Explain a little bit, if you can, what people get to see, and also the talk back afterwards too.
Yeah, it's going to be exciting because Millie's going to be there. I think all three young women are going to be at the talk back after the Beaufort screening, which is on Sunday afternoon at 3 at St. John Lutheran Church. And we take questions from the audience and tell them our experience in making the movie. And it's very inspiring for people to see their story, but it's also important for them to understand how they can engage as well. And that's kind of what we're doing. We're having an impact campaign all across the country to bring screenings that are free to the public so that people can see the film and they can experience talkbacks and they can learn about the issue and learn what they can do to advocate for keeping books in libraries.
Because I think what's interesting, just to sort of wrap it up for you guys, so once again, that screening in Beaufort this weekend, 3 o'clock at Ladies Island. You talked about the fact it's an inspirational story. It's not necessarily just a political story right now, and you are an inspiration to many for stepping up. Thank you so much for coming with us. I hope everything goes great, and I think we're going to be seeing a lot more of both of you. Thanks so much.